The Empire had conquered 17 star systems in less than 300 years. Their ships moved through space like silver daggers, cutting through enemy defenses with weapons that turned entire planets into burning wastelands. Admiral Al stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, and watched the small blue planet on his viewing screen. His four eyes narrowed with amusement as he studied the primitive world before him. Earth, the home of the species called humans, such a strange name for such a weak-looking race. The Galactic Council had warned thee about expanding into this sector. They had said something about the humans being different, being dangerous. But Al had laughed at those warnings. He had destroyed civilizations that had existed for thousands of years. What could a species barely capable of interstellar travel possibly do against the greatest military force in the known galaxy? His second-in-command, a tall creature with scales covering his entire body, approached with a data tablet. Commander bowed his head in respect before speaking. Admiral, we have completed our scans of the human solar system. They have detected our arrival. Their communication channels are filled with panic. Made a sound that served as laughter in his species. Of course they panic. They have never seen true power before. How many of their ships are moving to intercept us? 17 small vessels, Admiral. Our sensors classify them as patrol craft. They carry basic projectile weapons and simple energy shields, nothing that could scratch our hull plating. The Admiral turned to look at his fleet. 50 warships floated in perfect formation behind the Eternal Dominion. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a moon. Together, they represented the most powerful military force ever assembled in this region of space. Send them our standard message, Al ordered. Inform these humans that their planet now belongs to the Empire. They will surrender immediately, or we will reduce their civilization to ashes. The message was sent. The response came quickly, much faster than the Admiral expected. A human face appeared on his screen. It belonged to a female with dark hair and eyes that showed no fear. She wore a uniform covered in symbols that Al did not recognize. "This is Admiral Sarah of the United Earth Defense Force," she said. Her voice was calm, almost bored. "You have entered restricted space. You are ordered to turn your ships around and leave immediately. This is your only warning." Al felt genuine surprise. Then he felt rage. No species had ever dared to speak to an admiral in such a manner. He stood from his command chair and walked closer to the screen. "You foolish creature. Do you understand what stands before your world? I have 50 warships. I have weapons that can crack your planet open like an egg, and you dare to threaten me." Admiral did not blink. "I gave you information, not a threat. There is a difference, but since you seem confused, let me be clear. If you do not leave in the next 10 minutes, you will be destroyed." The transmission ended, stood in silence for a moment. Then he began to laugh. His entire bridge crew joined him. The sound echoed through the ship like thunder. "These humans are insane," he finally said. "But I admire their courage. It is almost sad that we must destroy them. Commander, move the fleet into attack formation. We will take this planet today and celebrate with their finest resources tonight." The fleet began to move. Their engines hummed with power as they approached Earth. The 17 human patrol craft scattered before them like frightened animals. Victory seemed certain. Conquest seemed easy. Then something changed. "Admiral," Commander said, his voice suddenly uncertain. "Our deep sensors are detecting something. There is a large object moving toward us from behind Earth's moon." Felt a small twitch in his stomach. It was a feeling he had not experienced in decades. Some might call it concern. How large? "Admiral, this cannot be correct. The readings suggest an object nearly 3 times the size of our flagship." Before the Admiral could respond, the object emerged from behind the moon. And in that moment, Al understood why the Galactic Council had warned him. The human battleship was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was massive, yes, but that was not what made his blood run cold. The ship was covered in weapons. Cannons lined every surface. Missile tubes dotted its hull like scales on a beast. It moved through space with a grace that should have been impossible for something so large. The ship's name was written on its side in human letters that his translator converted automatically. USS Defiance. Admiral's face appeared on his screen once again. This time, she was smiling. "You seem surprised, Admiral Al. Did the Galactic Council not tell you about us? We have been fighting wars among ourselves for our entire existence. We turned violence into an art form long before we discovered fire. Every generation of humans has invented new ways to destroy each other. When we finally achieved peace, we did not forget those lessons. We simply turned our creativity toward the stars." Al found that his throat had gone dry. "Your weapons will not penetrate shields. We are the masters of warfare. We have never been defeated." "Neither have we," replied. "Not when it truly mattered. You see, Admiral, the difference between your people and mine is simple. You fight wars to conquer. We fight wars to survive. And nothing in this universe is more dangerous than a human fighting for survival." The USS Defiance opened fire. Al had expected energy beams or plasma bursts, the standard weapons used by every civilized species in the galaxy. Instead, thousands of small metal projectiles shot from the human ship at incredible speeds. They moved too fast for his sensors to track properly. They moved too fast for his shields to adapt. The first volley struck the warship on his left flank. The shields flickered, held for a moment, then collapsed completely. The projectiles tore through the ship's hull like it was made of paper. The vessel exploded in a ball of fire that consumed everything inside within seconds. More projectiles followed. Then came the missiles, weapons that seemed to think for themselves, changing direction to avoid defensive fire and seeking out the weakest points in armor. Then came the energy weapons, beams of light so powerful that they cut through ships without slowing down. "Return fire," Al screamed. "All ships return fire." His fleet obeyed. Thousands of weapons turned toward the human battleship. The most advanced destructive technology in the known galaxy was unleashed against a single target. Admiral did not seem concerned. The USS Defiance had shields unlike anything had encountered. They did not simply block attacks. They absorbed them, turned the energy back against itself, created feedback loops that caused weapons to overload and explode. The human ship moved through his fleet's combined assault like it was walking through rain. And it kept firing. Ship after ship fell. They tried to retreat, but the human vessel was faster. They tried to scatter, but the missiles tracked them down. They tried to ram the enemy, but they were destroyed before they got close. In less than 30 minutes, the Eternal Dominion was alone. Al stood on his damaged bridge, surrounded by fires and the bodies of his crew. He had lost 49 warships, 49, against one enemy. His entire life, everything he had believed about the universe had been proven false in half an hour. Admiral appeared on his flickering screen one last time. "You have seen what one of our battleships can do," she said. "We have 600 more, and those are just the ones we built for space. On our planet below, we have billions of soldiers, weapons that could poison your entire species, and bombs that could crack open stars. We are not a peaceful people, Admiral. We simply choose to be peaceful because we know what we become when we are not." She leaned forward, and her eyes were colder than the void of space. "Go back to your empire. Tell them what you saw here today. Tell them that the humans have a message for every species that thinks about attacking Earth. Come with weapons and we will show you what weapons really are. Come with hate and we will show you what hate truly looks like. We did not survive by being gentle. We survived by being the most terrifying things on our planet. And now we are among the stars." Al found his voice. It came out weak, broken. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing," replied. "We want to be left alone. We want to build, to explore, to discover. We want peace. But understand this, Admiral. Our peace is not weakness. Our peace is a choice, and we can change our minds at any moment." The transmission ended. The USS Defiance turned away from the broken flagship and moved back toward Earth. It did not even bother to finish the kill. Al understood the message. The humans were not afraid of his ship. They were not afraid of his empire. They had let him live because they wanted someone to carry a warning back to the stars. He ordered his damaged vessel to retreat. As the Eternal Dominion limped away from the human solar system, Al made a decision. He would return too. He would speak before the High Council. He would tell them everything. And he would recommend that the Empire never enter human space again. 200 light-years away, the Galactic Council received the report from their observation station near Earth. The ancient beings who led the council, creatures who had seen civilizations rise and fall across millions of years, studied the battle data in silence. "They have revealed themselves," one of them finally said. "The humans have shown the galaxy what they can do." "It was inevitable," another replied. "You cannot hide that kind of fire forever." "Should we be concerned? Should we prepare defenses?" The eldest council member, a being of pure energy who had existed since before most stars were born, made a sound that might have been a sigh. "We should be grateful," it said. "The humans could have become conquerors. With their abilities, they could have swept through the galaxy like a plague. Instead, they chose peace. They chose to build rather than destroy. They are the most dangerous species we have ever encountered, and they want nothing but to be left alone. And if someone does not leave them alone—" The ancient being flickered with something that might have been amusement or might have been fear. "Then the galaxy will learn a lesson that they learned today. The humans are not to be tested. They are not to be threatened. They are to be respected, admired from a distance, and most importantly, left in peace." Far away, Admiral Sarah stood on the observation deck of the USS Defiance and looked out at the stars. The battle was over. Her people were safe. Another enemy had been turned away. She hoped there would be no more enemies. She hoped that the galaxy would finally understand. But she knew better. There would always be those who saw humanity and thought them weak. There would always be those who mistook kindness for cowardice. And when they came, humanity would be ready. It always was.